to have a consistent flow of clients. But let me tell you what, there's one big secret. And the secret is that there are clients everywhere. Out your back door, in a different country, they are everywhere. And really, I'm going to talk to you about the 7 things, but it is about believing in ourselves, showing up, and knowing the value that we give. Because we do really have this secret weapon, this secret tool that can change lives. And so the consistent flow of clients comes with, I could give you like 50 different ways to have a consistent flow of clients. I'm only going to give you 7, but they are there, and it really is about you showing up and knowing the value that you give. So I'm going to start by telling you just a little story. I'm going to tell you about my son, because I get to get this off my chest. He was an amazing wrestler, and so when most of you know that I am a performance mindset expert, I teach sports hypnosis to other hypnotists and hypnotherapists about how to work with athletes. I have a program that I developed about 5 years ago now, and the reason I developed it is because I had 3 wrestler sons that were super amazing. So my oldest son was going to wrestle at state his freshman year. He was super good. And he won all his way up to the finals. And the match before the finals, the semifinals, he tore a ligament off of his thumb. And that night he didn't want to go see a doctor or anything because he really wanted to wrestle the finals because he wanted to be a 4-time state champ. And so we wrapped it up, and I kept thinking there's no way he's going to win, because with wrestling you have to have a really strong grip to grab the legs and to pull, or to hold on to the arms, or to hold them down. And he had amazing mental toughness, which is part of the reason that I started working with athletes, because to me, seeing his mental toughness was amazing. And he went into his match, his finals match, his freshman year, and he was wrestling the state champ from the prior year. And that guy was above 8 points. And with wrestling, to be behind 8 points is almost impossible to come back. And he had a thumb with a torn ligament. Well, we found out after this finals match, we brought him to the doctor, and he had surgery because the ligament was torn right off of the bone. And he came back in the last 2 seconds, sometimes I show the video, but the last 2 seconds he won the match. And I learned so much from him about mental toughness. And I'll tell you, it's part of the reason that I am who I am, and it's part of the reason that I believe 100% that we're the creators of our life. And we can also help others be the creators of their life. And so the son actually died in a motorcycle accident 3 years ago. And I'm doing my best not to cry because it's his birthday today.
Oh my God.
And I know that he's here. And I know that what I'm doing, there's a purpose to it. And so I'm going to ask all of you a few questions. And the questions are going to be, why are you here? And what is your purpose? And what is the big reason that we're doing this? Most of us are here because we want to help others. Most of us are here because we've seen hypnosis and we know the power of it. And there's another piece, and it's the business part that we get to really master in order to have successful businesses, in order to make money, in order for us to be who we're supposed to be in this world. So I want to tell you a little bit about, first of all, it's how do you show up? And when I say how do you show up, it's how do you show up both for yourself and in the world. And that's all in here, right? We can hypnotize ourselves. So when I talk about that, here's an example, because sometimes it's easier to get examples, and I'm going to ask you guys some questions, some things to think about on your own. But when I talk about how do you show up, think about, because we do this as hypnotists, right? How do I show up in the world? Here's an example, is I've been to these kind of conferences for maybe 6 years now. And I remember the first conference that I went to was in Hypnothons. And I'm an introvert, which many of us are introverts, right? So it's hard to put ourselves out there. It's hard to introduce ourselves. It feels difficult to stand with our shoulders tall and be that extrovert that's so much fun and everybody loves them, right? And so I went to the first conference and I basically was playing small. And when I say playing small, I didn't realize it, except I had just hired a business coach. Now let me tell you, business coaches are amazing. If you want to get to the next level, to have a coach, whether you're an athlete or an entrepreneur, coaches are amazing. They keep you accountable, they help you get to the next level so much quicker than you could on your own. It's like, what is that next evolution of me? Anyways, I had just hired a business coach, and she told me, you know, you play a small game. And I was like, seriously? I thought I was confident. She's like, no, you play a small game. She's like, you know what you're doing, but you don't show up like the confident you that I know you can be. And so I went to HypnoThoughts, and I was around some people, and they all got together for some mastermind, and I really wanted to be in this mastermind, and I wasn't invited. And I was like, damn, it's how I show up, right? So I wanted you to think about, how do you show up for your clients out in the world? Because that's how people see you. Well, on the airplane ride home from that HypnoThoughts, I bought a book, and I believe everything in the universe is set up for us perfectly. I believe my son died for a reason. I believe I'm here for a reason. And there was a book in the airport store that was, She Speaks Differently was the name of the book. And I picked it up and I read it the whole ride home. And I vowed to never, ever, ever show up small again. Well, shortly after that, I went to a leadership program, which was a transformational self-development leadership program. And I did a little bit of digging in this program, and I realized that the reason I show up small is because I'm small. And so my entire life, I have been told, you're cute and you're little. You're so cute, you're so little, you're so cute, you're so little.
You're big.
Right? Big.
You're big.
Right. Right. Yeah, exactly. And so that was my mindset, right? So think about, like, what is your mindset from experiences in your life, things people have told you, that you aren't showing up big, that you aren't showing up to your potential. That is secret number one. Let that go. And when I realized that, I was like, oh, that's why I show up small. And I don't have to be small because people think I'm small, right? I can show up really, really big. And what I want for you guys is to think about next time you go somewhere or introduce yourself, how do you show up big? But it might be something different for you, right? You might have been told as a child, oh, you're so shy. Oh, she's just so shy. Oh, he's so shy, right? Or you might have been this really extravagant, fun little girl or boy, and you were always told to be quiet. Be quiet, no one wants to listen to you, you talk too much, right? So think about, like, what is it in our lives that is holding us back from showing up the way that we get to show up in order to be who we are meant to be in this business, in this life, in this world. Because I truly believe that the clients are everywhere. They're out our back doors. They're the cheerleader in the elevator. They are everywhere. And so when we can really step into our power, right? And that's what I tell my clients is in the first session or even in the discovery call, by the time we're done working together, we're gonna have a new version of you. What is that version of you wanna be when we're finished working together? And they're like, oh, wow, interesting. Who is it that I wanna be, right? And so we work toward that. And I say, by the time we're done, you're gonna be that version of you. And what is it that's working for you in your life and what is not working for you in your life? Because what was not working for me in my life was that I knew I had big goals and I wanted big things, but I was showing up small. Right? So what's not working for you right now in your life? But I'm going to ask you a few questions. And before that, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Karen Bird, formerly Karen Bird, but actually I'm changing to Karen. And the reason is because after my son died, we started to develop a relationship. I went through a big spiritual awakening process, and crazy things were happening in my life. I was a very strict Christian, still on, not strict Christian anymore. I still believe in, Jesus Christ is my Savior, and I have no judgment about anything else. I am totally open to everything else. But the day my son died, I had a peace that was an unearthly peace, and I could not figure it out. And so I did a lot of soul searching, and it was like, where did he go, and what the heck is going on here? And things started happening in my life, like friends, hypnotists would come to me and help me reach out to Josh and do soul fragment sessions and angel sessions, and I was like, okay, all right, I'm open to anything, just if I can connect with my son. Well, as the process went along, I started having some sessions with a woman that channeled archangels and learned more about Josh, and crazy. Anyways, we're writing a book together. So now I have a relationship with him in heaven. He was talking to me this morning, and my big purpose now is writing the book with him. And in the meantime, I'm also incredibly passionate about teaching other hypnotists and hypnotherapists how to work with athletes. And the reason is because with Josh, I believe, again, everything happens in our life for a reason. So he was an amazing wrestler. He won state. He won national tournaments. He went to Ukraine to wrestle. He was on the future Olympians list. He planned on being an Olympian. And then when he was 23, he died in a motorcycle accident. And when he was in college is when I started to develop this Attitude of a Champion program, because I was working with so many athletes. I had gotten books from the Olympic training centers, mental training manuals. I learned everything I could about how to help athletes be successful. And I also knew that he had an incredible mental toughness. And the crazy thing is I just saw a client the other day, and he happened to be a friend of my son's, and he's going to the Olympic trials now. He's a wrestler. And I hadn't seen him in a few years, and I opened the Zoom screen, and I was like, oh my Lord. Immediately got tears in my eyes. He looks so much like my son. His face, the shape of his face, he had a big bruised eye, all of this stuff I remember, right? And I was like, oh, be still my heart. Like, it's so crazy. I felt like I was talking to him, and it really actually motivated me and reminded me that here's this young man that is, I think he's 21 years old, and he's going to the Olympic trials, and we have the power to help him win. Like, this is a life thing for him. And so what he was wanting to work on is that he had been to a tournament, I think it wasn't the last Olympic trials, but it was something similar to the last Olympic trials in Las Vegas where he was going, and he lost in the final match. And he was so devastated over it, and he said, I couldn't stop replaying it in my mind. And so we fixed it, right? We did a theater room technique. And that's simple. So I'm super excited to see. I know he's going to go to the Olympics. But anyways, the reason that I do that is because Josh's story is part of my legacy. And yes, I'm writing this book, and yes, I'm getting a publisher, and I'm super excited about it. And my other passion is that so many of us are looking for successful businesses, and yet working with athletes, I'm just gonna say, you guys, is so easy, and they're right there out your back door, and they need us, and you don't have to be an athlete to do it, really. It's like us helping them manage their mind. Now, yes, I work with other clients, and I find that athletes are great referrers, especially, like, I work with younger ones, because believe it or not, the professional athletes don't want to tell anybody about you. It's a big secret. And they don't want to tell anybody they're doing hypnosis, because that might be a little woo-woo, and someone might get word of it. But the youth in the high school, their parents will pay anything for more confidence, to be the athlete they used to be, to believe in themselves, and they'll tell everyone about it. So, like, you'll get an athlete, and then the athlete came into you because they wanted mental training. They didn't come into you because they wanted to learn anything about hypnosis. Like, they didn't even know what hypnosis was. Many of them don't know what hypnosis is. They're just trusting you to help them be better at their basketball game or to help them get the goals in soccer. And so they then experience hypnosis, and their parents see what it did. And then they tell everyone about you, and then people say, can I come in for weight loss, or do you do smoking, do you work with kids for ADHD, I'm afraid to fly on a plane, so they find you. But that's one of the things I'm going to talk to you about is niching, because I truly believe in the power of niching. So anyways, I developed this Attitude of a Champion program, and it's a structured program on how to work with athletes. And that was just when Josh was in college. And so I'm going to start with the number one, how you show up. And that's what I was just talking about. And I have a couple questions for you guys, if you're ready to think about them. The first question I have for you, and you can write this down, is what's in your life now? In other words, from 1 to 10, where are you in your business and your life? So in a satisfaction level, 10 being high, 1 to 10, where are you in your business and your life satisfaction? All right. And I would love it if we could just go around the room and just say your number, like real quickly. You guys ready? Go ahead.
2.
Okay.
7.
8.
5.
5.
7.
7.
9.
2 in business, 8 in life.
Yeah.
5.
2 in business and 2 in life.
8.
Life is 9 and business 6.
I would say life is 8 and business is 6.5.
Now, 1 in business, I'm just getting started, and about a 5 in life.
Okay.
Let's see, life, about 7, business 4.
7 in both.
Okay.
7 in life and 8 in business.
Right.
9 in life and 6 in business.
Okay.
4 in business and probably 6 in life.
7 and 7.
Okay.
2 in business, 9 in life.
Okay.
6 and 6.
Okay.
7, 7.
All right. Amazing. All right. So as you saw, we had numbers ranging from 1 to 9. No 10s. We're gonna get to 10s, you guys. All right. The question is when you think about your numbers, and I ask every client I have, I don't care if it's an athlete or another client, is what's in the gap between the number you gave and a number 10? What is missing? Why is it not a 10? So just think about it for a moment. What's in the gap? Because I guarantee, whatever that is, you have the power to raise that number. But what is it that's holding you back? Why is it only a 7? What's in that gap? Does anyone want to share? Yeah.
I wrote down courage.
Courage, sure. Okay.
Systems.
Systems.
I was gonna say tech.
Limiting beliefs.
Okay.
For me, it's the identity.
Identity, like imposter syndrome?
Accepting the identity of a hypnotist.
Okay, sure.
I had 3 things.
Mm-hmm.
Mindset, I'm a trauma survivor, so I'm still working through that. So the trauma is probably the biggest piece,
Okay.
and lack of confidence.
Okay. All right, so any of those, can any of those not be changed? No, right? We can change every single one of those. So what is it that's stopping us, right? And it's the same thing with our clients. Now, if you told me, asked me my satisfaction in life, I would say 9. And the reason I would say 9 is because there's always room for improvement, and yet I'm really, really, really happy with my life. And yes, my son is in heaven, and no, I can't touch him physically. And here's the thing is, for me, I believe that he's not gone, he's just not here physically, right? I can still tell him happy birthday. In fact, I sent him a happy birthday on his Facebook page. And I'm hoping they don't eliminate that, because that's kind of how I talk to him sometimes. But I also know that I can just talk to him, right? Because he's still there. And so, what for you, what is stopping you from getting systems? What is stopping you from having confidence? What is stopping you from every single day doing what I'm going to talk to you about is telling yourself that you are an amazing, impactful, empowering hypnotist, right? Because that's what our world needs. And so when we talk about, how do you show up? everything I do with my clients, I'm gonna teach you guys this because this is like super powerful. I started doing this with just athletes, and then I realized that every single client I had really, really, really benefits from this. So the first session we'll go through and we'll write affirmations. Now with the Attitude of a Champion program with athletes, I have a whole list of questions, what do you ask in the first session in order to create their mental toughness training program. When it comes to other clients, there's a whole bunch of questions like, if I could snap my fingers and you could have 3 things, be, feel, or have, what would those be? We start to write statements about it. We start to talk about what's working in their life, what's not working in their life, and we create a plan for them. And then after we create this plan for them, many things come up like, I would like to have more systems. I would like to believe in myself and believe I'm a hypnotist. I'd like to have more confidence. I'd like to release my trauma. I'd like to lose some weight. I'd like to, with athletes, have more belief and self-doubt. So whatever it is, I will then read back their statements that we created for them, okay? And then I will have them choose 3 words that describe who they want to be. So opposite of what I heard, what you don't have in your life, what's in the gap, let's figure out what it is going to take to fill that gap. It would be something like, I am a blank, blank, blank. And so you guys all can do this. I am a blank, blank, blank. You could say leader, woman, man, hypnotist, hypnotherapist, whatever you want to call yourself. So it's a blank, blank, blank. And then I want you to fill in the blanks. And now if you were my client, we'd already have these affirmation statements written, and I would read them to you. And they would be things like amazing, confident, believe in myself, self-worth, unconditional love, powerful, empowering, outgoing, whatever they're working on. So think about 3 things that when you thought about your numbers, what was in the gap of you not getting there? I mean, you could even do something like, I'm a systematized, right? Blah, 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 hypnotherapist or hypnotist or whatever. Mine is, I am a powerful, loving, giving leader. I set that back when I was doing my transformational course and I realized that I was playing small. And now every single morning and every single time I look in the mirror, I tell myself, I am a powerful, loving, giving leader. Yes, I am. And I want you guys to have that. So it's not what you believe right now. It's not that you believe you're generous, or if you already believe that you're giving, or you already believe that you're loving, which a lot of us are. It's what do you want to be? So I would say confident, powerful, amazing, effective,
Peaceful.
right? Peaceful, love that. Yep, that's a word that comes up often. And fill in those blanks. I am a blank, 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 and then whatever you are. Right? And then every single day, and I tell every one of my clients this, look in the mirror, put a post-it note on your mirror, and tell yourself how amazing you are. This is incredibly powerful. And just like I tell my clients, right now what we're doing is we're creating pathways. And that pathway then is something that the more you read it and the more you step into it, right? This is the version we're stepping into. The more you read it, that pathway becomes a highway, a road, a highway, and a superhighway. And so our job here today in this first session is to create your pathways. And as we work together, it'll become a road, a highway, and superhighway. By the time we're done working together, you might very well think, I can't believe I used to think that way, right? That's not me. I'm now this person. So anyone in here want to share their statement? Sure.
I put, I am love, light, and a manifestation of God.
I love it. And you didn't hear that, love, light, and a manifestation of God. All right.
I am an authentic, innovative, empowered leader.
I love it. Authentic, innovative, empowered leader. Yes, you are. Yeah.
I'm capable, balanced, and loving leader.
I'm a capable, balanced, and loving leader. Love it. Yes, you are.
I am peaceful, confident, and powerful healer.
Yes, you are. Peaceful, confident, powerful healer. Thank you. Yes.
I'm a confident hypnotist, a great man, and a father.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
So to make, yes, you are. I love it. So to make that a little easier, you could do, I am a confident, great, what was the other adjective?
Great man and father.
So a confident and great man and father. And the only reason I say that is it's easier to say, because what I tell my clients is every time you come in here, that first thing I'm gonna ask you is, what is your contract? We call this a contract, and I want you to know it like that. I don't want you to look at your paper or think about it. I want you to say, I am a powerful, loving, giving leader. Yes, I am. Okay? Because that's who you are. And then with the athletes, we'll work on things like thought stopping and shifting out of that. When you start to not believe in yourself, when competition starts to get stronger and you start to question if you're gonna win, you're gonna beat the last 2-time national champ that you're wrestling, and you start to have self-doubt, which I call inner mean guy, inner mean girl, the one that says things to you that someone that loved you wouldn't say, the one that questions if you can really do it, that's self-doubt, the one that an Olympic champion wouldn't say to themselves. When that inner mean guy, inner mean girl starts chattering, then take a deep breath, imagine a stop sign, and as you exhale, tell yourself relax and replace it with your contract, because I am a powerful, living, giving leader. So if I feel like I'm nervous because I know that I'm speaking soon, I remind myself who I am, and I get inner mean girl out of there. There's no place for her, right? And here's the thing, like, and we all know this. When I started thinking about this isn't about me, because when I step in here and I'm nervous, it's because I'm worried about what people are gonna think about me. I'm worried about my hair looks like. I'm worried if I'm gonna be articulate. I'm worried if someone's gonna walk out, right? That's about me. It's focusing on me. But when I focus out, which I did when I was grounding, I focused out. Like, I'm here to focus out to help you. It doesn't matter about me. That's selfish, right? So when I can focus out with you, that actually empowers me. And that is what we can give to our clients too. It's not about us. It's not about how effective we are. I tell all of my mentees that I coach is, you know more than you think you know. Stop overthinking it. You've been to the conferences. You've been to the classes. Hopefully you've practiced with a buddy or you've practiced with people you know. I know when I first started, I did like oodles of group sessions for free because I was like, I just gotta get some more confidence here. And so that's how I started. And what I realized is when I started seeing clients, I mean, I'm way better now than I was 20 years ago, I'll tell you that. And I knew more than I think I thought I knew. And if I just did what I knew I could do, I was helping someone. Maybe not the same as I help them today, but I know I got results 20 years ago. And even though I was a new hypnotist, right? So remind yourself, you know more than you think you know. All right. I am going to continue to go. I have no idea what time is it.
10:30.
I better move. Okay. Practice what you preach. Kind of similar to what I taught about. It took me years to start practicing self-hypnosis on my own, yet I taught it to every single client. Teach it to every single client, and use it yourself. Darn it! It is amazingly powerful. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. I'm going to teach you a really quick self-hypnotic technique that I teach my athletes because they don't have time to do self-hypnosis. They think, and they're very busy, but your body in zones. Your head is zone 5, shoulders 4, midsection 3, legs zone 2, feet zone 1. Take a deep breath, close your eyes, and as you exhale, release and relax that set of muscles. 5, 4 shoulders, 3 all the way down 2 legs, and 1 feet. All right, that's it. The more you practice, the quicker it goes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See yourself winning the trophy. See yourself standing on the podium. See yourself in your circle of light, right? So, and do your visualization. That's what we can do as hypnotists and hypnotherapists, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See yourself sitting with a client and that client saying, my goal for every single session, after that first session, my goal, and I tell myself this and I get it often, is I cannot wait to get started and do this. I cannot wait for this program. I can't wait to be the person that I get to be when I'm done working with you. That's my goal. And you know what happens a lot, but I visualize it. Like that's what I see is, I want to see that client walking out or even the parent of the athlete walking out saying, I'm so excited for this. And because our job is to take our clients from hopelessness to hopefulness. That's our job. I don't care if it's an athlete that is feeling like they're not good enough anymore, or they lost the joy of the sport, they don't believe in themselves, or if it's someone that is struggling with anxiety and depression and panic attacks. They're hopeless, and we want to bring them to hopeful. That's it. That's our job. All right. Niching. I'm the niche queen. All right, and the reason I say that is because I wrote a book. I hired a book coach about 6 years ago when I had just first developed my Attitude of a Champion program. And I thought it was going to be about the Attitude of a Champion book and kind of a lead magnet for that. And he talked me into writing a book about niching. And so I wrote a book about hypnose niche. All right. And you guys can get this for free on my website. I'm going to give you a QR code so you can like find me. But anyways, it's about the power of niching, because what I realized is when I started working with athletes, I became an expert in something. I, like most hypnotists and hypnotherapists in this world, wanted to reach everybody and be everything for everybody. And what if they don't find me? And I don't want to say that I only work with one thing, but here's the thing, is when you're an expert in one thing, everyone else finds you. Just like we don't go to a general doctor when we need heart surgery. Go to a heart surgeon, right? So if you want to work with athletes, most of them know to come with me, come by me. And it's literally like Googling, or there's a lot of like referrals and words of mouth, but I am known as the sports hypnotist or the performance mindset expert. It doesn't mean I don't see every other client. But really, when you niche, people know you for a certain thing, and it sure does help your elevator speech. I'm going to tell you that right now, because when you say, I'm a hypnotist or I'm a hypnotherapist, they look at you and they say, can you make me clap like a chicken? I got so sick of that. It took me like 2 years to stop saying, I'm a hypnotherapist. And I moved it into, you know how athletes have the ability, but they lack the confidence to reach their peak performance? Well, I work with athletes to help them get the confidence so that they can be their best selves, and I do that using hypnosis. And then they're like, oh, interesting, tell me more, do you work with, right? So it's about when you choose your niche, you can start with, what do I help people with? And that starts the conversation, and that helps people to realize what you do, and then you're not just a hypnotist, they know that you can help them with something. All right, ask. All right, ask is mostly, ask for referrals, ask for testimonials. Took me forever at the end of a session to say, I'll say, in the beginning of every session, my first question is, tell me 3 wins that you had in yourself or your performance or the way you thought about things, but tell me 3 wins that you've had this week since we worked together last. And they always come up with 3 things, and it's beautiful because you're already starting them out positive, but sometimes it's really, really great stuff, like perfect testimonial stuff. And I'll just say, can you just hold for just a second? Do you mind if I record this and use it as a testimonial? They don't say no, because they're like in this great mood, right? They're telling you how great they are and how things have changed in their life. So now I ask, right? Like, hey, do you mind if I record this for a short testimonial? And they're like, yeah, no problem. Or sometimes at the end of a session even, they'll start telling me about how their life has changed. And I'll say, oh, just a second, is it okay? And they're like, of course it's okay. So ask. Ask who else they know that could possibly help. Use this, use hypnosis. Ask who else they know that wants to be more hopeful, right? So ask. It took me a really long time to ask. And that's part of because I know that I'm like a supporter personality. And I can imagine many people in here, because a lot of us in this field are supporters. We want to help everybody. We're empaths. We want to do anything, and we're going to put ourselves last before we're going to do something for ourselves, because we're supporters, and that's what we want to do. So it's a little bit of a stretch, and it's important that you stretch yourself and ask. So, maybe that's what's in the gap, right? I also tell my athletes and all my clients, when we're setting goals, is we want our goals to be stretchy yet attainable. And then what is stretchy yet attainable? Stretchy yet attainable means if you had your best game, if you had your best day, if you could get your best income level, right? Let's say they want to make $1 million next year. It's stretchy. You're going to have to work really, really hard to get it, but yet it's attainable, right? So maybe $1 million isn't attainable, but 250 is, but it's stretchy. Like, you're going to be working your ass off to make that money, right? But set your stretchy but attainable goals. And I challenge all of you in here to set a stretchy yet attainable goal about how many clients you're going to see in the next month. How many clients are you going to see in the next month? Just think about it in your mind, stretchy yet attainable. Grab it, it's a number, put it down, write it down, say it every single day, stretchy yet attainable goal. All right, I do that with all of my athletes. So we want to sell ourselves short. We want to definitely get ourselves to the place where we're like reaching to get it. And then here's the thing is we as humans feel like if we don't reach a goal, we failed. Not true. We're humans. If we were 100% perfect 100% of the time, we would not be humans. Or maybe we'd be Jesus, I don't know. I've heard he wasn't perfect either. So here's the thing though, is it's okay to renegotiate. And I tell my clients this, here's a mind shift for you. Stretchy yet attainable means you set the swimming goal that will get you to be first at the Olympic trials. Yes, it's stretchy. If you don't make it, you haven't failed. You get to renegotiate. You get to renegotiate with yourself. You get to renegotiate with anyone else that you put that out there to and say, look, I did my best and I want to renegotiate. And now my goal is this, right? And then what feels better? Is it a little less? Is it a little more? I have athletes that come in after the first session and they'll be like, I can't even believe it. I got the exact goal time I reached. So like swimmers will say, I do the 53 and 50 free in 3.05 seconds, or 30.05 seconds. And they'll come back and they'll be like, I have no idea. I'm not watching the scoreboard. My head is down. I got the exact goal time that I set. How does that happen? I said, I have no idea how it happens. I'm going to be totally honest with you. It is the power of the mind, but that's how powerful our brains are. So super powerful. You set amazing stretchy goals. Yeah.
I just want to have an example. So I was working in corporate world as a licensed therapist, and I was so miserable because I was head of the utilization review, which basically means you call insurance companies to approve benefits for clients. And I was so fed up, and I was constantly saying, "Oh God, take me out of here!" But I was scared because I needed income. So and then one day I just put on a piece of paper, exit date, October 12, 2012. And guess what?
Yeah, it happened.
It happened
Exit
to
date.
the day.
Yes. Yes.
Never look back.
That's how our subconscious mind is incredible. Yes, we say write down goals, you will reach them. All right, follow up. Personal follow up. I learned this. So I have a system where when I do a discovery call, they'll 9 times out of 10 say, how do I book a session? I'll send them a link to my Calendly. In that link, they get an audio saying, how does hypnosis work? If they're an athlete, how does hypnosis work for athletes? They get an intake form, they get their payment link, and then they get their reminder emails as they come through. So everything's all set up and automated. It took me a long time to figure that out, but I'm telling you, I love it. I was very resistant for an online calendar for a while. I was like, oh no, I want to set my own time. Okay, great, 10 minutes. But what I found is that, so they get follow-up emails through this system, and personal touch is super important. I'll never forget when a dentist called me the day after a procedure and said, hi, Karen, how are you doing? How did that go? How are you feeling? I was like, whoa, I never got a call from a dentist before. And that was super powerful for me. So every single client I have, even though I have quite a few clients, I will send them a very quick email. It doesn't take me long. And I will remind them of their contract, because I have written down their contract, right? I wrote down all of their stuff. Hey, you powerful, loving, giving leader. Just wanted to check on you and remind you to say your affirmations, practice your visualization and your self-hypnosis. And by the way, I'm here if you ever want a follow-up session. That's it. It's personal touch. They know it's my personal email because I personalized it to their contract. They love it. It's like really, really powerful. And here's the thing is people have intentions to come back often, but they forget about you. Sometimes I'll just grab my client files and I'll ring through and I'll send them another email 6 months later or a year later and say, hey, I was just thinking about you. If you ever need a follow-up session, let me know. And I get follow-up clients and repeat clients from that often. Because it's that little private touch, it's that little reach out, it's that little invite, it's that little reminder, oh yeah, I should probably go back and do a session again and reset some goals, or maybe I can get a new audio. I tell them, I'll redo your audio. So follow up. All right, make it easy. Make it easy. All right, this one is about making it easy, right? Because we always think everything's so hard in life. So hard to get clients. It's so hard to get ourselves out there. And when you think about it, it really can be easy. I went to class yesterday and it was about working with corporate. And I remember you asking, what is holding you back from working with corporate? Because corporate, like athletes, it's easy, like they're gonna refer and they need us and they're looking for us and they're there. And yet it's that little bit of courage, because when I came up with mine, it's like, it's that, I was in marketing for a while. It's that little bit of like making that phone call feels icky, right? Or feels salesy. And yet when we change it to, let's make it easy, I'm just offering you a service. I'm offering you something that is going to change your life. I'm not trying to sell you my services. I'm not trying to make money on you. When you switch that up to, what do I have that I can offer you? That makes it easy, right? And the other thing with making it easy is get yourself a system. Stop your resistance like I did. I literally resisted a virtual assistant, and I'm looking at Connie because she's like, oh yeah. I resisted a virtual assistant and I resisted an online calendar system for years. I made my life so freaking difficult. And when I finally automated that and I got a VA, here's the thing with the VA. I was like, oh my gosh, well, it's gonna cost me money. And if I don't make that money, then I'm paying them anyways, that I'm responsible for, and blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing is what I realized is money flows. And when you make it easy, when you start being responsible to pay someone, or you feel responsible, or you give them, responsibilities, it just flows in and it flows back out. You don't stay stuck in it. So the more you give, the more you put yourself out there, the more you commit to, it flows. In fact, I just recently I invested in like a $15,000 marketing program for this Attitude Champion program, because now I have like Australians and I teach it internationally. And as I invested in it in those first couple of months as we were creating the program, I was like, this better work, right? And so I had to constantly remind myself, surrender and allow, because this is what you love to do. You love to coach, you love to mentee, you love to help others. It's about giving out, the souls are there. And so in the end, of course it worked out, and it worked out better than I had imagined, but it was that trusting and allowing and letting it to flow, just letting it be easy, right? And I have to remind myself of that all the time. All right, and find your tribe, super important. And the reason I tell you this is because we're all solopreneurs. And let me tell you, it's very lonely. And when we try to lone wolf it, we make it really, really hard. And when I say find your tribe, find someone here, find someone in a profession, find someone that you know, reach out. And I know this sounds really elementary, but make them your buddy, right? Call them for advice. Call them for, I have a question. Call them for collaborating. Like, stop trying to do it all on your own, right? This took me years to figure out. But when I started to realize, that made my life easy. Like, Connie and I get together now on a weekly basis, and we do accountability, and we talk about where our businesses are, we share resources. Like, we've shared so many resources. And it's just that one person that you can find. So find someone that can be your buddy, that can practice with you, that can keep you accountable, that can share resources with you. Find your tribe. They are here. This is an amazing community of the most giving people you could ever know. There's someone out there that can be accountable with you and be your tribe and make solopreneuring a whole lot less lonely. Okay, I think I just have a few more minutes, so I'm going to pass these around. These are, I just wanted to share this. This is a little bit about the Attitude of a Champion program that I had, and then a download for a free discovery call script. And the free discovery call script is a script that I use for athletes when a parent or an athlete calls and says, what do you do with athletes, or how can you help me? So there's that, and then down below that is also a general client. I think it says something like, this is what I say, so I typed it out. It says something like, how can I support you? I'll let them talk, and then I'll say, oh, yeah, exactly, I can help you with that. So what we're gonna do in the first session, we're gonna figure out what's working and what's not working in your life. We're gonna create a program and a plan. By the second session, we'll do some hypnosis. I'll make a recording for you. And by the end of where we're going, I'm going to help you step into a new version of you, that version that you called me for. And they're like, okay, great, how do I sign up? Right, it's that easy. So anyway, it's on here. This is a QR code for it. And then this one, Attitude of a Champion, is the program, if you're interested in working with athletes, I have a structured program that is like literally step by step by step, all 4 sessions, exactly what you do, all the scripts, all the tasks in between. There's demos of me doing it. There's how do you reach out to teams, how do you speak to teams, emails. So it's all there. That's the program. And that actually is on a special right now because, like I told you, I was working with this marketer. We just did a workshop, a 2-hour workshop, and had a special. And so I decided to hang on to it for this weekend for you guys. So I'm going to share those. You guys. Yep. And then any questions for anyone about athletes or anything, business? No questions? Awesome. Sure.
So because I'm definitely considering this, I think I would do really well in this. And who can you go after? Is it, 'cause, I mean, I'm just trying to think out of the box. I don't know what I don't know is out there in teams and things
You're
like
talking
that.
athletes?
Like, so high schools,
Sure.
with, like football teams, like where else?
So you're
Like,
right in your back door, right? So I would say golfers, individual sport, super easy. We're walking into summer,
Okay.
right? Go to a golf course,
I live on one.
offer to do a 20-minute performance mindset talk. Peak performance mindset talk is what we talk about.
Should you print some golf balls and take them to the range?
Yes, take some golf balls to the range, exactly.
What's your name on it?
Yeah, I was just at the gym the other day doing a strength class, and someone that I had known from like years and years ago, I knew that her daughter was a gymnast. So I said, hey, your daughter's a gymnast. And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, how's her team doing? And, just started asking some questions. I'm like, oh, well, as you know, I'm a mindset trainer, sports hypnotist. I'd be happy to go speak to the team. She's like, oh my gosh, that would be great. So I went and I spoke to the team. I got 5 clients from it. And I had one little girl that couldn't do her giants on the bars. I had no idea what a giant was. So she's like, I can't do my giants. I'm like, okay, so what's a giant? So she's like, well, it's a spin. I didn't need to know what a giant was, right? And I got like all these clients from just talking to someone at the gym.
Is that a kids team, like a high school team?
That was a kids team.
Really?
But I see high school teams, and then I see collegiate also, and a lot of times that's because an athlete that I've seen has either a sibling or has aged up. And the reason I say that, this is just like a marketing tip, is athletes are broke. I mean, college students are broke. And so you could go speak to a college team, and they're like, oh, this is really great, I need this, but I gotta talk my parents into it, and they're already paying for my school, or they're supporting me. And so it's a little bit, you're like having to jump through more hoops. Whereas if you work with youth and high school, their parents are like, they're already paying thousands of dollars for the team training, for the club training, to take them all over the world, to do their competitions. So literally, the parents are like, oh, $1,000? Oh yeah, sure, how do we pay? It's easy. So I work with youth in high school because for me, they're right there. Okay, time? Awesome. Yes?
The stuff you talked about accountability, was that workflow that you used to set all that up, or is there?
Yes, yes.
I've seen it and I'm like.
Yeah, do workflow, yes. It's newer, but it's definitely.
Yeah, I've seen it, I just have been afraid so far. But
Sure. Okay, one more question.
How many sessions are you doing in your athletic
I
program?
do 4 sessions, and then I always tell them that they can come back for a referral session. So I would say 50 to 70% come back 6 months, monthly, 1 minute. Okay. They come back for refresher sessions quite often. So it's a 4-session program, but it's actually, I get repeat clients quite a bit from it.
How much do you charge?
$1,000.
Yeah. For the 4 sessions?
Yeah. All right, thank you guys for
Thank
being
you.
here.
Thank you.
So much, I appreciate it. You have any questions? I'm here.
thank you so much.